Hey guys, Jack here bringing you my review of the AVerMedia Live Gamer HD streaming and capture card. AVerMedia were kind enough to send me one of these cards under the stipulation that I would provide them with a fair and unbiased video review of the product. This card allows you to either capture or stream footage in many resolutions from a PC or an Xbox 360. As far as I know, it will not capture HDCP content coming from a PS3, so you will need to look elsewhere for that. Included in the box is one Live Gamer HD card, one installation CD, a quick installation guide, a hot button, this is an exterior dedicated recording button, a DVI to HDMI adapter and a HDMI to DVI cable just in case you don't have an HDMI output on your graphics card, one HDMI cable and one 3.5mm audio cable. Let's get the technicalities out of the way first. This is a PCI Express interface card, so to install it you'll need to have a PCI Express slot free on your motherboard. Most modern motherboards do have one of these, but if you're looking to buy this product, please check before you do so. Installation is very simple and only requires you to push the card into the slot and secure it with a thumb screw. Connecting the card up is also a piece of cake. Most people will probably use the local PC HDMI method. You simply run one HDMI cable from your graphics card or Xbox 360 to the capture card input, and then another HDMI cable from the capture card output to your monitor. For sound you can either use HDMI or simply run the included 3.5mm audio cable from your speaker out to the capture card in, and then back to your headset from the capture card audio out. Easy as that. You also have the option to use a separate PC for recording if you wish to do so. I personally wouldn't do this, but I do know of other YouTubers that have a dedicated PC for editing and rendering that might use this solution. Moving on now to the software that you'll be using with this capture card. This is called RecCentral and it's where you'll be setting up your video capture and streaming methods. I would seriously recommend upgrading to the latest firmware and software for the card before you start capturing footage though, because early versions of RecCentral were very buggy and hard to use. The two most important tabs here are capture and stream. Let's look now at the capture tab. If you're unsure what you're doing, you can select either the newbie or amateur presets and they will set you up with some okay capture methods. Most people will want to go into the pro tab though, and that's where you can completely customize your recording options. In the Pro tab you can select where you're recording from, your resolution, frames per second and bitrate. Everything you're used to seeing in game capture software is here. You can also select where your audio source is coming from and add a microphone if you wish to record commentary along with the video. It's worth noting that your separate audio source can be saved as an individual file, so if it isn't tied to your game audio and you'd like it separate, you can do it that way. Hotkeys can be assigned in here too, and you'll also be able to select if you want to use an external hot button for recording. The Stream tab has pretty much the same options as the Capture tab, with the one exception of the gateway. This lets you connect directly to your streaming service. You bang in your credentials, hit connect and you're good to go. Now instead of locally recording your gameplay, it will be going out live to whichever streaming platform you prefer. And that's pretty much it in terms of setup and use. It's very simple and easy to use. Even a complete novice to recording gameplay would be able to set this thing up. So what about the quality and how does the footage look? Well, I'm going to assume that 99% of people who are actually recording gameplay in 2012 will either be recording in 720p or 1080p, and this card really produces some nice footage in those resolutions. In fact, all of the footage you've seen so far in this video was captured using the AVerMedia card. It looks great, it looks just as good as Fraps or DxTory footage on YouTube. I just wish the card wasn't currently limited to 20,000 kbps bitrate, as some games with lots of information on the screen such as DayZ with all of its foliage require more bitrate to get a clearer picture. Hopefully more bitrate options will be added in the future, but for the most part games such as Battlefield 3 and Black Ops 2 look fantastic on this card. I'd love to be able to record 1080p at 60 FPS with this card for editing purposes such as slow motion, but at the moment 60 FPS is only available at 720p resolutions or lower. The Live Gamer HD features a built-in H.264 video encoder, which is incredibly good at producing gorgeous footage but keeping file size down to a minimum. If you've got any experience with Fraps or DxTory, you're going to know how big a 1080p video file can get within a couple of minutes, so it's quite refreshing to see 30 minutes of 1080p footage only taking up 3 to 4 gigabytes on the hard drive. So what about performance? If you're gaming on PC, do you suffer any lag when recording with this card? Well, the simple answer is no. When you're recording, you won't see any frame drop or lag in game at all. All of the video processing is handled by the card itself, so your graphics card and CPU can concentrate fully on rendering the game. Other recording software such as Fraps can cause massive frame drops and performance hits even on top spec machines. And when you're trying to play well, there's nothing worse than having bad performance, but when you record with the AVerMedia card, you really don't even notice it's recording. It just works perfectly in that respect. I have to applaud this card for capturing Xbox 360 footage especially. It's extremely easy to connect and set up, and it's worked absolutely flawlessly for me when capturing the Xbox 360 footage. You plug in the two HDMI cables, hit record, play the game, stop recording, and you're left with perfect 720p or 1080p footage. There's no component cables or crazy adapters you have to buy. It just works really well for capturing the Xbox 360 gameplay. What more can I say than that? As I mentioned earlier, the Live Gamer HD can also work as a streaming card. I wouldn't recommend connecting to your streaming service through RecCentral because the options are extremely limited, and literally all you can do is broadcast the game and have it pick up your microphone. If you're into streaming, you're much better off using the Live Gamer HD in tandem with a broadcasting program such as XSplit. If you do this, you'll have way more options with your stream. You can add media files, multiple audio sources, music. You can use various hotkeys to do different things. And I imagine that if you bought this card for streaming, you're already using XSplit, and there are a couple of different options with this card. Option 1 is to use the card as a camera, so nice and easy. Instead of using a program like DxTory or Screen Region, you simply select the card and it will broadcast whatever is on your monitor. You let your CPU do the transcoding, simple. Option 2 is a little more interesting, but a function that I personally wouldn't ever use due to lack of customization. If you go into your channel properties on XSplit, you can set the AVerMedia card as a codec. Now what this means is that when you start broadcasting, instead of your CPU doing all the work and transcoding the stream, it's all handled by the AVerMedia card, which means you don't notice any performance hit to your system. However, the quality isn't amazing and you lose a lot of options. I've also noticed that if you use the AVerMedia card as a codec, the stream is very blurry with fast motion, so that's pretty bad if you're streaming fast-paced games such as first-person shooters. It's not so bad with real-time strategy games, but with FPS you're going to have a problem. I've looked this up online and apparently it's related to the H.264 codec and cannot be fixed via firmware or software update. If you're using the AVerMedia card for streaming, I would definitely recommend option 1 and adding it as a camera in conjunction with XSplit, as this works really well for PC and Xbox 360 streams. And what about that hot record button? Well, at first I thought it would be a bit of a gimmick. I can just use a key on my keyboard to record my gameplay. But it's actually really useful just being able to hit a button, see the lights change on it and know you're definitely recording or streaming. It also changes its blinking pattern to let you know when you're running low on hard drive space. It's actually quite satisfying to press, and it feels like one of those buzzers on a game show. And I guess it would also help avoid any embarrassing stream situations too. So overall, pretty positive so far, but what don't I like about this card? Well, not a lot, but there are a few little qualms I have here and there. The first one, as I mentioned earlier, is why can't I set a higher bitrate than 20,000 kbps? I want to go up to at least 40,000. This won't be a major concern for most people because the footage already looks great, but I like to have the absolute best quality before I upload to YouTube, and I feel like some games need a higher bitrate to get the best footage out of them. The second one is an audio issue. Why can I only add one external audio source? I want to add Skype, line 1, line 2, as well as my microphone in separate audio streams, but I simply can't do that with this card at the moment. The third one is this. Sometimes if I record a longer video on PC, such as 20 to 30 minutes, the audio goes out of sync, and that is quite annoying, having to go back into an editing suite and match it all back up. I'm sure this will get fixed with the software update, and please note that I haven't experienced this problem when recording Xbox 360 footage. The fourth problem is something that won't affect a massive amount of people, but if you're in the same situation as me, it will really bug you. If you've got a 120Hz monitor, such as myself, it's really hard to get the game set up so it's running at 120Hz when you're recording. You have to clone your monitor in Windows, which causes FPS lag, and also if you tab out of the game and back in, your monitor hertz will be reset to 60, and the only way to get 120Hz back is to change the resolution and then change it back again. This gets quite frustrating and is definitely a turn off for me. Problem 5 is only a little one, but sometimes the footage can look a little washed out and you have to tweak the brightness and contrast controls before you start recording. The controls seem to reset by themselves sometimes as well, so maybe that'll be fixed in a software update. And that's about it. Generally speaking, this card works great for both capturing and streaming when used in conjunction with XSplit. It's elegant and simple to use even for novices, so who would I recommend this card to? First off, let's talk cost. The cheapest I can find the Live Gamer HD online in the UK is £152, and that is a lot of money. I think that your personal hardware and money situation will definitely influence your decision to buy this or not. If you just want to record or stream Xbox 360 gameplay, get this card. It works flawlessly for that. Seriously, I can't find any complaints or problems with it in that respect. You plug it all in, hit record, and you end up with some great footage that doesn't take up a lot of hard drive space. It's an elegant solution to a problem that's been hard to fix in recent years. However, when you're thinking about buying this card for PC capture and streaming, the situation changes a bit. I'd say that if you have an older or average spec PC and want to record gameplay, picking up the AVerMedia card is probably a good idea. It'd be cheaper than upgrading your CPU, motherboard and graphics card, and it gives you an easy and reliable way to record your gameplay without stressing the rest of your system so your games still run well. However, if you've got a more modern PC and want to be able to use more advanced recording and streaming options such as multiple audio streams and the ability to use different codecs, I can't recommend you this product. When you've got excellent capture and streaming software such as DxTory, which you can pick up for around £28, in my opinion you'd be wasting money by picking up this card. DxTory is a relatively new software that excels at capturing video footage on PC and doesn't lag your system either, so if you're looking to get into YouTube or streaming, you should definitely pick that up. You don't have to install a card or anything, you just pay for it, run the exe, install it, and you're good to go. If I were to give the AVerMedia Live Gamer HD a score, I would give it an 8 out of 10. It's a solid product presented well, including easy to use software that is regularly updated. Ultimately, the decision to buy this card depends entirely on what exactly you want to record and from which platform you intend to do it from. Thanks for watching the review, guys. I hope this has helped you out in your decision to buy this card or not. Give me a like if you enjoyed the video, share it with your friends if they're not sure if they want to buy it or not, and I'll see you in the next one.